God effect of the brain. Religion breeds both benevolent saints and murderous fanatics. Evidence shows that religion can produce extraordinary behaviours, goes back to the dawn of human history, when our ancestors started burying the dead and produced remarkable ritual art on cave walls. One of the first signs of religious consciousness dates to the Upper Paleolithic, some 25,000 years ago, when a boy of age 12 crawled through hundreds of meters of pitch-black, deep cave space, probably guided only by a flickering flame held in one hand and some fleetingly illuminated paintings on cave walls. Dopamine probably fueled his brain. The right arrangement of neural circuitry and chemistry generate astonishingly creative and holy persons on one hand, or profoundly delusional, even violent, fanatics on the other. To intensify the God effect in people already attracted to religious ideas is just boost the activity of the neurotransmitter, dopamine, crucial for balanced emotion and thought, on the right side of the brain. But a spike too high of dopamine, murderous impulses like terrorism can rear up instead. Throughout the centuries, bountiful dopamine has given rise to gifted leaders and peacemakers like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, innovators like Zoroaster, seers like the Buddha, warriors like Napoleon, Joan of Arc, teachers of whole civilizations, Confucius, and visionaries like Losey. Some of them not only enduring religious traditions but also profoundly influenced the cultures and civilizations associated with those traditions. But dopamine-fueled religion has also unleashed monsters. Jim Jones, the minister who persuaded hundreds of his followers to commit suicide, and the cult Aum Shinrikyo, whose leader had his adherents release sarin gas on the subways of Japan. The neurological line between the saint and the savage, the creative and the unconscionable, turns out to be razor thin. Just look at the bounty of evidence showing that families of extraordinarily creative individuals often include members with histories of insanity, sometimes even criminal insanity. Genes that produce brains capable of unusually creative associations or ideas are also more likely to produce in the same individual or in members of the family, brains vulnerable to loose or bizarre associations. The medical literature abounds with descriptions of creative bursts following infusion of dopamine-enhancing drugs such as L-Dopa, levodopa, used to treat Parkinson's disease, bipolar illness, which sends sufferers into prolonged bouts of dopamine-fueled mania followed by devastating spells of depressive illness, can sometimes produce work of amazing virtuosity during the manic phase. Often these individuals refuse to take anti-dopamine drugs that can prevent the manic episodes precisely because they value the creative activity of which they are capable during these altered states. Hallucinogenic drugs such as psilocybin and LSD, which indirectly stimulate dopamine activity in the brain's frontal lobes, can produce religious experience even in the extreme non-religious brains. These hallucinogens produce vivid imagery, sometimes along with near-psychotic breaks or intense spiritual experience, all tied to stimulation of dopamine receptors on neurons in the limbic system, the seat of emotion located in the midbrain, and in the prefrontal cortex, the upper brain that is the center of complex thought. When dopamine in the limbic and prefrontal regions of the brain is high, but not too high, it will produce the ability to entertain unusual ideas and associations, leading to heightened creativity, inspired leadership and profound religious experience. When dopamine is too high, it would produce mental illness in genetically vulnerable individuals and in those who had been religious before. Fanaticism could be the result. The primary pathology associated with Parkinson's disease is a loss of dopamine activity. The sense of well-being we all feel when we indulge in an experience like good food or sex comes from hedonic reward of the neurotransmitter dopamine. Whenever dopamine is released, one will get a small hit of pleasure. Many drugs of abuse, such as cocaine or amphetamine, stimulate dopamine activity in the midbrain. But recent research by Wolfram Schultz, a neuroscientist from Cambridge University, had revealed something more complex. He had shown that dopamine was not a simple pleasure molecule, delivering a simple reward. Instead, it alerted us only to unexpected rewards, spiking when the prize delivered far exceeded the expected result. Unexpected visions can define the most innovative artists, the most divergent philosophers, and anyone who finds a sense of ecstasy in the beauty and strangeness of the world. Dopamine neurons are oriented towards the pickup of new and significant rewards, novelty of the highest order for the individual. From the nucleus accumbens in the midbrain, thought to be the reward center, when dopamine activity moves into the prefrontal lobes, it mediates the most complex of thinking and creative processes, unique to humans. Religion creates spectacular individuals because it pushes them into looking for unexpected rewards, rather than all the usual rewards such as money or sex that the rest of us constantly pursue. Pursuit of unusual ideas can be facilitated by dopamine, heightening creativity, too. This is the point where science and religion actually meet. Like the most creative scientists, the most consistently religious individuals would be motivated only by things that consistently triggered surging dopamine and the unexpected rewards circuits in the prefrontal lobes of the brain. Such unexpected visions will define the most innovative artists, the most divergent philosophers, and anyone who find a sense of ecstasy in the beauty and strangeness of the world. In the genetically vulnerable, it will take just a little more juice to activate homicidal fanatics. The same mechanism enhances the creativity also, juicing up the right-sided limbic and prefrontal brain regions with dopamine. But if these brain circuits are pushed too far, thinking becomes not merely divergent but outright aberrant and psychotic. Since at least the Upper Paleolithic, religious cultures have been shaping, channeling and nourishing the quest for unexpected rewards. Today, such cultures as science, art, music, literature and philosophy confer the same sense of transcendence that religion has done in the past. The trick is tapping the God effect, inducing that altered state of wonder and making the breakthrough to greatness without going over the edge. Thank you.